Welcome. Hello. Thank you so much for tapping in, turning on, tuning in to another enchanting double late night of musings. We will explore many realms, of course, into our whole entire truth root of existence, right? In multidimensional ways that are poetic in every kind of wave, because that's the kind of strain of formula in my own DNA. Right? We each have our own song. We each have our own unique way of expressing ourselves. And instead of feeling rejected by those that don't vibe or don't get our tune or tone, one of the most challenging lessons of life might be feeling, hey, stop fighting. Ebony, right? One of the most challenging, Ebs, come here. Oh my goodness. Ebony. But oh boy. Shiva, come here. Sit here. Ebony. Shiva, come here. Who's over here? I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second. Let me figure this out. Where did I go? They changed this. Okay, whatever. Anyways, what was I saying? I don't know. But it's gonna be a very chill recording. I don't want to stay so long and stuff like that, but I even took a sip of wine because wine tends to, like, I don't really drink wine, but like, and if I ever do, it will be outdoors or something, because if I ever drink wine inside the house, like, I'm just going to sleep. So just because I need to rest a little bit eventually because it's a late night, and but I feel divinely inspired. And that's just how that goes. But that's what I was talking about. Each of us, you're unique. You're unique. You have your own blueprint of expression to get to know better and best. And that journey never ends. Like, we can say, like, people get so stuck on something, right? You get so stuck on something, and it's just like, but I'm here. And so then if you change that something, then the fear is the ridicule or the having to explain your changing of your mind. It was like when I was fluctuating and I guess learning my own moderation with eating meat, not eating meat, eating meat, not eating meat, and every single time I made my intuitive, divinely aligned with me decision that involved a switch or something, I felt the need compelled to have to explain this to someone. Oh, you're eating meat now? And like, or, oh, you're not eating meat again? Oh, like, and deal with the different responses. This is just an example of something, you know what I mean? Take with it as you will. But I feel like that's like the conditioning that has us fudged up, right? To think that there's no evolution in you is to keep you stagnant or stuck, or have the potential to remain stagnant and stuck because you see something so one-dimensionally and just settle on that which you're told and don't question nor seek nor explore outside of that which you're told. And so that could become your anthem. you know, and many of the people that grow and cycle are just repeating patterns and behaviors. And it's the same thing with like this whole slavery thing, you know, with you know, don't come at me, okay, in terms of like, you know, those BLM, WLM kind of stuff. I'm not gonna get all like into the politics of a lot of it and stuff like that. Just call me Switzerland in this department. You know what I'm saying? But like, what was the whole point of that? Maybe I'm not supposed to go there, just saying, or maybe it's trying to stop me. But either way, what was I saying? This is gonna be a very chill like episode for tonight because that's the kind of vibe I'm vibing in at this time. But anyways, let's go back to just where we're gonna go with this. Welcome, Enchantress to Babblers. If you want to stay tapped in, turned on, tuned in for the mana, you have to stick it out for the ride. And this is where I'll lose a lot of energies at the time because, you know, they lack the discipline or desire. And it's not even discipline or desire because some people are just not interested. But, you know, whenever you found yourself here, some highest part of you did. So is that true? Or is that just your resistance? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, as long as I'm saying a lot of stuff, right? But I was saying something. Make sure to go check out episode 4 of my third eye activations with my cousin Ernesto. I like talking with him because when I go, what did I say? Like, what was I saying? When we are filming, he helps me. But when I'm by myself and I'm recording and then I have to upload and stuff, it's just like, who's here telling me? Spirit? Yeah, okay, so yeah, Spirit does. I mean, listen, which brings me back to even the sentiment and the element that I felt I was gonna travel when I hit record. That took some time too. And in my mind, in the way that it's programmed, right? Because we are deprogramming ourselves, but you have to understand that you've been programmed. Like, it's not to conspiracy theory or to make it any grander than that which I'm saying, right? Out of the womb, you are fed and nurtured and cared for and provided and told that which you are, that which you must do, that which is this and that which is that. You get a whole dictionary too about the words that you're going to use and the meanings that they have and the sentence that you're going to formulate to communicate with all your brethren, sisterhood around you. And then somewhere in the midst of it, someone's story kept being retold. It's like when we have that song that we keep playing over and over and over again. And others might be like, are you gonna listen to that again? Like, what the fudge? And, you know, and yeah, right? So it's the same thing with, you know, waking up. Like, it was interesting in one of the videos in the recordings with me and my cousin, like, in my eyes, he's always been spiritual due to our upbringing and experience and the levelings of conversation and topic we have had our whole fucking life, right? Since youth, since kids, talking and being our weird selves and at that time when we grew up, right, when I was a kid, right, I'm an 80s baby and so is he. My parents were young when they had me. And my grandparents were my age. I'm on that now. When I see my grandma, I'm like, Grandma, when you were my age right now, you was a grandmother. Oh my God. But, you know, we as little ones, we're told, like, and then everyone gets these labels and these meanings and these definitions in this dictionary, you know what I mean? Thesaurus too. And I was a thesaurus and dictionary whore, so you know, I'm coming because I act like you can see, but I got books everywhere. Like I love that kind of mental stimulation, and you know, I've always been like that. But anyways, we're fed all these things. So for you to sit there and say, I'm not programmed. Okay. You don't have to be, you don't have to listen. And if you're triggered, then I am happy to be the catalyst of transformation and evolutionary shifts for you. And I don't take that back. So hop off and peace, kumbaya, right? But anyways, like when I like if you listen to if you follow all my videos and hear excerpts here and there and stuff, then you get pieces of like my own personal story too, but like just where I'm at in my own 40 plus years of development, and I'm articulating it in these multiple videos in different ways and conveying, you know. And if you follow it all, then great. Like if you don't, and you're getting bits and pieces of the mana here and there, again, I'm not here to say how much you eat. I'm here to just do that, which is what I'm divinely guided to do as I speak. And whether it's divine inspiration or not, it's my voice of expression saying, this is what we want to do. And so we're doing it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go tend to that cat over there because she's gonna keep on freaking screaming. That's Andromeda. Welcome to Andromeda's planet. When she wants to be her, she'll start screaming. Hold up. She is. It's because there's an eclipse. So that's kind of like what we're gonna talk about too. This eclipse energy. And just because, like, you know, I said, like, what were we talking about? Why you're not reminding me that every time before I hit pause, write down that what you were saying before you hit that pause, because sometimes your pause is much more time later than when you think, just because I hit it again and y'all think I was gone, not at all. Sometimes hours go by in between. I think that's what happened right now, but some time has passed since I hit that pause and I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, so like with this whole like color war, it's crazy. I haven't found the video because I post so many videos, but I do recall back in like 2016, part of my journey here is not to delete. So if you really want to go back and you want to see in my own personal growth throughout, then you can go back to like 2016 when I first started recording consistently till now, right? My journey, and you'll see the evolution of me. And for the first fucking year, I didn't want to record. As you'd be like, oh, you know, some people be like, oh, that's just like for show, or like, what do you mean you don't want to record? But you was recording, oh, you were divinely, you know, people's spectators, and you always got something to say. Oh, that's just your own ego in your own kind of way, and you did want to do that in some kind of way. You can go into the psychosis of that in the brain, but still, either way, we are all pages, sage in this planet. You know what I mean? And our voice of expression and whatever it is that brings you to that which it needs to bring you to that, then so it be. So it's just like when someone gets to the leveling of evolution, that they conversate with me and we can have a conversation on a whole other kind of different plateau. For me, it's like, wow, the evolution in me recognizes the evolution in you, and I'm excited that you're here, you know, too. For those of you that still stay, you know, and don't click off, because severed becomes the brain, right? Love, choice, trust, transformation, liberation, transition, liberation too, right? This shit reminds me of this freaking lantern fly. Pain in the ass shit that's everywhere. Yeah, and that's what that solar eclipse kind of energy too that's coming in. right? On, I think, the 25th. Doesn't matter, dates are man-made and shit like that. But either way, we're not going to start talking about that yet until I finish that, which I was saying before I hit the pause to go tend to Andromeda, the planet over there. Right. My hair. No makeup. Feels worn off. It's not a beauty contest. That's within 𝙽𝚎𝚠 out. You know what I'm saying? I could have went, took another shower, did my makeup again, just to motherfucking record, which people do. People do, and I'm not knocking anybody that does beautify themselves before a session, like before they record. I've done it a couple of times where I beautified myself just because I was gonna record. Most of the times, if I'm beautified and you think I am, it's just because I am a busy alchemist and I'm already ready for my day, and then I got some recording and that's just how I look. But it was never for the camera. It's just like I come as I am, you know what I'm saying? So this is how I am. It's after 2 a.m., my friends, you know what I'm saying? So I've been up for a long ass time. But right, so conditioned out of the womb, and so we're fed that which we think we know. And so to question that which you fed or you're told is to really upheaval a system that does not agree with someone different sometimes. Or it appears that way. But it appears that way, right? It appears that way. There'll be much more articulation on that as we continue, but it appears that way. So to I've learned to just get comfortable in my own awkward moments of silence on here, like without feeling weird or something like that. Like these are the techniques that you do. A lot of people be like, oh, I have anxiety. I can't stop. Instead of feeding into that, because that's how I can say that's, even though I look calm right now and stuff like that, because I get worked up too in my own mind, and I want to be able to articulate bright, and I do things freestyle and all that kind of stuff. But that's to the level to my own madness, but that is just me. Like, freestyle has been this whole journey here. You can see, if you go back, like I said, go back to 2016 till now, and you'll see the growth, of my own freedom of expression this way, which was uncomfortable for me naturally, because all eyes on you, right? And as an empath too, you feel that shit too. I'm very conscious of the energies that I feel all around me, whether it's happening presently, futuristically, or even from before. Just energy sensitive and conscious of that which I receive, right? So many people are that way, but not conscious of where all this is that they receive. So it feels overwhelming. It's just like a onslaught of all static energies entering all at once and going and so it can cause, and I associated this with my fork in the road experiences while driving with the GPS, where every time a fork in the road would come, even though the GPS and my daughter would be like, Mom, it says what is and it says what to do, like what is the problem? But in those instances, in those moments when you have this instant choice to make, right, where it's go here, right, sometimes the chaos of one's own mind can distort the view, because as simple as it can appear to be, that even the GPS on the freaking screen, she even jokes, she tells people, she's like, we got this car, like this thing to have it on the dashboard, like the GPS thing, to make it easier for her while she drives, and she still makes she still doesn't do what the GPS says sometimes, you know. It's like, oh, it was saying that way. I don't know why that is said that way. It just looked that way to me. So it reminds me of like even like dyslexia, like the distortion of like numbers and or letters and the scrambling, right? It's like channeling. As a young child, when I was channeling, it was not a pleasant experience for me. One, I didn't know what was happening. Two, all I wanted to do was to stop. Three, what is happening? What is this? And why nobody else hears it, right? But if you're on that path and you're on that quest and you and you're on that healing journey, as we all are, if you're here, you're on your healing journey, because I am on my healing journey. Granted, we're all in different spaces, different places of our healing journey, but it's a healing one, because no matter who we are, where we come from, or what lifestyle, what tax bracket, what labeling system we have associated ourselves with, political party or all this kind of stuff, in this mutual ground of existence, we're all healing and learning and growing something, period. And that's going to look different for everybody and all this kind of stuff. But in relation to this experience, that is evolution. Like, if you can't see that growth is evolution because you want to get stuck on a labeling system of evolution, is to believe that there was an explosion in the ethers of our planets and our cosmos that created this Big Bang theory, and because you associate the word evolution with that, and close your mind off to evolution as a whole, that's just one piece of a part of an explanation of a science that someone is theorizing, that could be a possibility. It's not to fucking start a war and an argument and all this kind of stuff over. It could be a part of the truth in its own diabolical kind of like twisted way, but our human capacity to entertain such out there concepts and studies and truths it is beyond our comprehensibility. I don't know if that's even a word, but you know what I'm saying. So anyways, what was I saying? So yeah, so to disagree with that leveling of everything that which you think you believe to know, up until the point of your own conscious woke moment of experience where you want to actually presently participate in your own evolutionary experience, which then wakes you up to a whole bunch of other kind of sensations and a whole bunch of other kind of revelations and a whole bunch of other kind of readjustments that need to motherfucking be made, because this is just so happening. And that's that wake and bake. Like, I'm not talking about wheat, I'm talking about wake and bake. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. And it can feel like a tornado, it can feel like a hurricane, it can feel like a fucking tower moment, it could feel like, and it doesn't matter which capacity it is, because there's always going to be that tower-like effect in some kind of catalyst of change. It doesn't have to be negative in any kind of way. And granted, the first aspect of this revolutionary spiritual evolution of a change is going to feel negative. So before you start to experience the bliss, you got to go through the dis, and the dis is going to take you from that which didn't serve you to begin with. You know what I mean? And that's just a wake up of reality of like, oh shit, what have I been doing all this motherfucking time with my life at this time? And you might question, and you might get stuck. Some people get stuck there. Like, oh my God, what have I been doing? And then victimization, right? And it's not saying it from a cold vibration or an detached perspective or lacking in compassion for something that people go through and get through. Like, but you know, there comes a point in your own evolution of purpose to distinguish that which is your purpose and align with that truth and do that which you must. You know what I'm saying? And so if that what you must is to repeat the constant same cycle and the same argument and the same cry and the same, like, I'm so glad that the quote, because this as a young child always stood out to me, and I remember my evolution of understanding with it, because I didn't understand it. I wanted to understand it, which is when I first heard it, I was in elementary school, where it says, don't, you know, if you're gonna cry, If you're gonna cry, cry, but make sure that you don't cry about the same thing twice. And then the quote associated with it is, don't cry over spilled milk. I'm just like, but what is that? If you're gonna cry about something, don't make sure you don't cry about the same thing twice. I cry every day. So what am I doing wrong? So it caused it was a catalyst of consciousness to exist in the elementary school gen at that time, to question every cry. Like, why am I crying at this time? And I met cries that were false. I'm like, you don't even mean this cry. Why are you crying? So, you know, and people can associate these kind of things like with shadow elements, and just it's really, you can call it whatever you want. I hate labeling systems, but we have language, and language is here for us to articulate, but you also have a language that has no words and just has an existence within your own being that you can fucking understand. So throat chopper clearing, because I keep on fucking like hiccuping, this, that, I need water. I'm like, oh my god. But sure. Like, anyways, yeah, it's just really getting to know yourself. And that's a forever thing. Especially in this perceived realm of existence, whatever this existence is that we find ourselves consciously awoken to, whether it's we can get into the are we simulations, are we this, are we this, are we that, are we that, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter what it is. We're awakening to some leveling of reality. That should be enough for you to figure out what that means to you and how that feels to you, which is important. And the solar eclipse, is it solar? I wrote it down. Hold on. Solar or lunar? I don't know. But I wrote something down. I was writing a lot of different things, so I gotta find the paper first. So give me a second. Hold on. Find the paper I was writing on. And also we'll take a little mini break. For those of you with the short-term memory loss, I say this compassionately, and I say this with love, and I say this to be the breed of seed needed to be the catalyst of shift that perceived. You know what I mean? It's not short-term memory loss. That's not what it is. What it is whatever lack in action. I'm articulating this for the first time. Okay, so give me a second. Whatever lack of communication, self-communication, articulation that you don't intentionally create because you lack the discipline of action to investigate or dig deeper the way you would if someone could possibly be cheating on you and you have to find out, and you do everything. Like, you all of a sudden become Inspector Gadget. All of a sudden you fucking know how to do everything. You spy, FBI, CIA, like, you know everything. Okay, like, whenever your intuition is fucking spiked in a some kind of like, wait a minute, something don't feel right here, you become the best fucking investigator. Oftentimes in our conditioning, we're not taught to be that for ourselves. And so a lot of things get brushed under the carpet. A lot of things remain superficially immature, not necessarily forgotten, just not tended to. not watered. You know what I'm saying? So your short-term memory loss perceived, because that's a settlement. That's like settling for that answer. I don't got short-term memory loss. I know what the fudge I'm gonna say. I know how I'm gonna say it. It's in me. This isn't my thing. How can I lose that? But remember, we're in a conditioned environment, right? That will spellcast for you that which you say. So be mindful about that what you say, right? So it's not that I have short-term memory losses. I have yet to put into action the leveling of more thought that needs to be expressed to myself, to be responded to by myself in order to better remember, right? Recall. So instead of, I used to get really like frustrated, like when I would walk from one room to the next and forget what the fudge I was about to do or say. And then conditioned way is like short-term memory loss. Or somebody can say, oh, that's from smoking weed, or that's from this, and that's from that, and that's from this. And everybody always has an answer for everything. But in truth, let's get to the root of this. Because all we have to do is formulate the right task at hand for this challenge and present ourselves with the innovative, solution-based response system that we have to instill into our being, because it's not the normal route we take. So until you start taking purposeful action, deliberate action. So it's like when I walk in from one room to the next and I forgot that which I was going to do, I have to get into my programming, how I perceive moments like this now. So before, I'm perceiving these moments like short-term memory loss, and I'm settling and accepting the fate, and oh, it'll come back to me if it does. Excuse me? No. But if you really want to know and follow and do, then it's get to the bottom of your truth. So in these moments now, let's say they occur for me, I know I'm going to recall, even when I don't know how. So I already understand that. That's in my root. So now I help that root when those times occur, and I have these template of questions I can ask myself that help propel when these moments come when I'm by myself. So, you know, it does not might be something I'm doing out loud, but I'm doing it in my mind. I'm like, breathe. It's gonna come. And when it does, you're gonna get it. You're gonna say it. It's gonna be great. Bam. Right? But now I'm taking and making an effort to go back to those spaces, the efforts that we typically don't make without frustration. Before, I used to be frustrated in these spaces, like, I just knew, like, because you just knew. So you get stuck on the what you just knew and don't look for the solution too. You just knew and you still know. It's just you getting into your thing. So it's asking and aligning yourself with, okay, what was I just talking about? What was I just thinking about? Asking yourself these things, waiting for a response, not just getting frustrated. So you see, it requires a leveling of act from you in regards to any kind of transformation too. And so it's the same thing like with this whole slavery, racist, you know, granted, there are things that factor in that continue certain cycles and all this kind of stuff. But the leveling of personalization to that which is a cycle is being held from a specific space and time that one wants to grab as the reality of truth. Meanwhile, if we get into the whole realm of existence of everything, we have all been enslaved, we have all been hurt, we have all been tortured, we have all, no matter what ethnicity, no matter what color of skin, no matter whatever, and we can all plunge for these stories and for these histories and for these documents and for these things. We can plunge for these documentations of proof that you did this to my ancestors, and you did this to, and everyone then has something that they can pull if they did their research enough. So what is the issue? That's where I come from. Like, it's just like the argument of someone losing a parent and someone losing a pet, and the person that lost a parent, or a person observing the two mourning, one's mourning a pet, one's mourning a parent, and unevolved over here comes, right? Saying, why are you crying? It's just a pet. This person just lost their parent. Like, comparing and contrasting the cry. Hurt is hurt. Love is love. Right? But then people want to get real particular about those kind of things because they want to hang on to something, right? That's personal, and that's your own stuff. That got nothing to do with the collective, nor a history. See what I mean? Where I'm going with this? And for some, that's gonna fly over their heads. Like, what do you mean? So you saying, because I get that all the time too. People want to come at me with a particular storyline of an instance that occurred or happened. How does someone forgive that, or someone let go of that, or how do you, and stuff like that. So I understand. But that got nothing to do with 2,000 years ago either. Although from a whole perspective, granted, it does. But the isolation of your particular structure is blasphemy to all the structures that at some period and point in life does deal, and has had something. And then the whole other argument for me from spiritual folks who want to argue race and be proud. People have said that I was, what have I been told several times? That I was like a shame to the Spanish culture because I don't speak Spanish. And then my awkwardness whenever asked what I was, because of my different levels of melanin complexions. Like I have when I was younger, I feel like I was much more darker too. Same thing with my daughter too, like which that happens naturally, like your melanin, your complexion, you lighten. So that's why people will be like, oh, that person lightened their skin because when they were young they were darker and all this kind of, it's a natural process too. I didn't lighten my skin, and yet I'm lighter than I was when I was younger. It just is what it is, right? So and then when I sunbathe and stuff, I get beautiful different ranges of color, you know what I mean? I love my complexion of skin and stuff like that. So anyways, so in that, people from different cultures have always asked me, what am I? Because many would believe I was part of their culture too. I've gotten so many different kind of asked, like in different, like depends on what I'm wearing, depends on my hair, like different things, and they'll be like, oh, are you like, and I never answered directly or simply. I was like, they were like, if they guessed correctly or anything like that, I'm like, yeah, I guess, yeah, Latin, Spanish, like whatever. They didn't guess correctly, and it had to be me to reveal what I am. I never felt cool saying it. I mean, I guess I'm Spanish. That's what people say, put it. And then they want to know what Spanish. And I'm like, okay, you're Dominican, you're this and that. And then I'm like, I guess Puerto Rican. And they're like, you guess? And I'm like, I guess if that's what you're calling it. Because I'm looking from a soul perspective, which is what I don't get, why people get hung up on what they are right now. If you're coming at me from a spiritual soul's perspective, then you are well aware that the evolution of you has been on many a times too, and could be anything, any color too, creed or breed of seed of anything, because soul has no attachment to body, shape, form, color of human expectancy. So you could be Spanish now, Korean later. So what's the fight now? This is why so many people do past life kind of stuff. And in this past life, if you believe in all that kind of shit too. On this past life, I was Cleopatra. On this past life, I was this. And this past life, I was whatever. And I was a mermaid, I was a fairy, I was this, I was that, right? If you have all of that, then why is what cultural significance of earthly made up shit, what does it have to do with anything about your soul's purpose in this human experience? You know, I just don't understand. People just like to argue and fight and take out their unhealed aspects of themselves in every single topic, discussion, or personalization they can make out of something to excuse themselves, to act out, spaz out, and freaking be toxic in their unhealthy forms of like execution or ways of like not dealing with something or avoiding something or dealing with something, like whatever the case may be. Yeah. Anyways, I need a moment. Give me water. Okay, we can move this. It's supposed to have been updated. Anyways, I'm gonna start like getting to the point of stuff, you know, so that I can just keep it moving and get some Z's. So it is a solar eclipse, right? And it's a partial one, and it is in continuation of the, I wrote it down to where? Yeah, from May 15. It's reactivating the theme from the lunar eclipse from May 15th. Right, because this, I didn't check Vedic, but in Western astrology, I will elaborate anyways, but either way, especially if you have Scorpio in your chart. Raise your hand if you have Scorpio in significant parts of your chart. Oh boy. I'm holding your hand. Let us brace these lessons, these learnings together. Rise, right? Especially if you got, you know, we all have different aspects of the signs in each and every one of us in different houses, different placements. And again, this is just astrology talk, but this is just real life talk, period. Like Scorpio is an intense energy. And whenever Scorpio is at play, expect major transformation, major upheaval, change. And again, it doesn't have to be negative. It doesn't have to be bad. But before you can get to that good aspect of that upheaval, many negative aspects of upheaval must occur in order for that genuine, authentic upheaval of greatness to occur. So dependent upon that where you are in your evolutionary journey, that's all I'm gonna say. Like, I'm not here to articulate and say specific that which where you are. The evolution of transformation and upheaval and the energy that you'll be experiencing of that will be different for everybody, dependent upon where you are, because this solar eclipse, right, is all about cracking open, right, cracking us further open. It's like you're being cracked. And if you don't want to be cracked, Scorpio's going to sting. Okay, so you'd be like, all right, that's fine. I'll avoid the whole thing. I won't be cracked this solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse season. I just won't be cracked. Scorpio's in town. Be cracked or be stung. Poisonously. You know, I'd rather just be cracked up in here. Like, crack. They say, oh, crack is whack. This is a different kind of crack. Crack yourself open, right? So, and it's in the heart realm, of course. Scorpio would want to travel there, right? Like, and then when we pulled these two cards that came up here, right? The transformation, right? Which is 13, card 13. This is a Scorpio card, right? 13, right? The number itself, when you reduce it down, it's the number 4. And 4 is all about celebration, the coming together, the cultivation, the harmonizing, the foundation, right? The pillars of strength that hold up that foundation, right? Securely. Right, 4. I'm talking about 4, but 13, right? 13 is a cycle of transition, change, transformation for one's own liberation. 13, they say, you know, is unlucky, right? Is it? Right? Or is that the fear that you must grow past to meet 13 and be revolutionized, right? So, and then the card next to it was love. So in the love realms, right, which is true, right, for this time too, right? Soul searching reevaluation, like right underneath this, right? And 8 of crystals right here, the dedication and the process to that. Look at 5 of Capricorns, the challenge and the growth that you might find in this quest for your own renewal, right? In regards to even love, right? And manifesting your own prosperity, right? Through logic and justice at this time, right? So we'll focus on these cards, but like, I didn't mean to pull all that, but like, whatever. So, right, so getting to this through this transformation, right? So, so the cracking open and stuff like that is bringing about this deep mystery. Why is it a deep mystery? It's a deep mystery because it's what's unspoken. It's what has been brushed under the carpet. It's what has yet to be revealed. It's that which you have yet to say. So it could be like in a good way, right? It could be like you have a crush on somebody, or somebody has a crush on you. You both have a crush on each other, and this is the cracking open of the confession time. So that tower-like moment of trusting, right? So this is like in that love department, harmony, right? Because 6 is all about harmony, choice, trust, choosing to trust, as opposed to choosing the cycle of behavioral pattern conditioning that has you self-sabotaging or creating cycles of worry, doubt, and all the things that do not serve that which is needing to be infused. Like, you know, people want to get rid of a lot of stuff that's brushing under the carpet. It's not getting rid of that which exists for within you. It's getting to understand that which you must understand for the infusion, right? So it's bringing together, right? So the territory yet to be explored. I wrote a whole bunch of stuff, and like I write like zigzagly everywhere, right? So that's just the lefty in me. Any lefties up in here? Yay, right? So also with Scorpios in their chart, right? Okay, right, wherever it is, right? So this is an excellent time either way when you have a new moon, right? New moon energies, right? It is, unless you are a master alchemist, aligned in your truth, wisdom, integrity, and you cannot be triggered or swayed in any kind of way, right, to act out of pocket, right, then by all means, disregard this next suggestion I'm about to say that is advice that I was reading from different platforms of outlets and stuff like that too, that during this new moon, solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse time, that it's not wise to focus on your manifestations at this time because everything is intense and amplified, right? But I say, hey, that need not apply for those that are in their alchemized and their aligned in tune with their rhythms and beats, and alchemy sweet, and mystery can be sweet too, and the enjoyment can be from a different platform, allowing yourself to begin fresh, right? To begin fresh, even when you're uncertain, and you're not being toxic to the development of that by self-sabotaging it with thoughts that need not be thought, with actions that need not be made, and with poor decisions that you don't need to be making, right? So they say, like, right, so this new moon solar eclipse, this partial solar eclipse, if you go back to the time of May 15th, right, that's what we were talking about before, where there was another one, the lunar eclipse. So this one's the solar, that one was the lunar, right? Go back to that time of May 15th. Think about what was going on in your life during May 15th to 2022, this year. We're talking about this year. Although these messages are all timeless, whenever you find yourself here, you find yourself here. We're just saying, go back to May, go back to a couple of months ago, go back to this time of the last lunar eclipse that happened in the year that, whenever you're watching this and stuff like that, if you're watching this another freaking year or whatever, just go back to that last, if you're in a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse, go back to the one before it, right? And see where you were at that time. What was the catalyst emerging? What was the storyline developing, right? Because granted, you forgot about that time, right? Because this is what they say, let it go, right? Manifest, right? That which you desire to sow, get into your know, and let that grow, breed, seed, be, right? So here you are acting out these seeds, breeding, right? And you forgot about May 15th. So now we're here, flash forward, right? October 25th. And it's this solar eclipse. And it's saying, hey, all that you have cultivated from that time till now, psh, pow, 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 pow. Some of you may be like, no. Well, then that's why you should mind your thoughts and put in more effort and action into developing better that which you do desire to create, and stop self-sabotaging yourself in that kind of way. There's no need to get upset and stuff like that. It's just now to learn and actually apply and do that which you must, right? So, because all eclipses are going to feel intense, right? Chaotic, fated in some kind of way. Even people that are not spiritual, in this terms of astrology, or looking at it from this numerology, or whatever the case may be, they could be real church Scientology, or just religious based Christianity or Catholicism, whatever the case may be. But right now too, going through some real intense energies, right? Where's that coming from? Oh, you can't think that which I say because it's the devilish ways, because religion will have you say that logic and wisdom that come from other sources, from some demonic entity or spirit, because don't listen to it, even if it makes sense. Like the Democratic Party, right? I have been listening to certain kind of things, and like I said, if you've been following my journey, that's what I was saying before, if you've been following my journey, then you know that for 10 plus years, like, I didn't watch TV or subject myself to any kind of thing, so I didn't know anything that was going on. In this last couple of months, I have been wetting my toes and getting into shows for evolutionary purposes. And so that's the whole point of that. Oh, so I had a point. I had a freaking point. I had a point. Because do you hear that? This sound. It's like a helicopter or something. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, dude. Why are you flying? It's over my house. So I'm sorry about that. But anyways, feel it. Just lowered its sound. What were we talking about? I don't know. I know we're talking about solar and lunar eclipse and stuff. I'm just gonna keep going in because I now I'm starting to feel sleeping, which is good because I need some Z's a little bit because I have a hectic day. But right, the infusing of the times, and no matter what, like, you know, like what association you're giving it to, like it's just, you know, everything is intense. Scorpio's up in the house. And anytime Scorpio's around, period, no matter your belief systems, whenever Scorpio's around, should be really intense. And whatever your articulation, like, you know, think about that. The next time something resonates, I get that. I haven't got that in a while, and I guess that's from my evolution. But in the beginning of my evolution of, you know, being more open about my own spirituality and offering services and things like that, and I did a lot of stuff like for free. I still do a lot of stuff for free. Like I'm, you know, like I just, that's one of my love languages. I like to give. I like people to feel good. It's not for anything in return. Like I've went through that hell. Did I give this to you? Did I gift this to you? Did I make this for you because I wanted something from you in return? And I really sat there with myself, really sat there, right? Before I was gonna allow again for someone to rob me of my own personal experience of one of my love languages. You know, sometimes we just give things to the wrong people. Doesn't mean take away the art of that which you are. Which brings me back to even the beginning part of this message when I was thinking about like procrastination and stuff like that. And we were talking about that and how not to look at it like that. But anyways, I don't want to lose this now. What was I saying? Just get to breathe. We can stop apologizing for handling things in new ways that we're figuring out as we're handling them. Before I probably am like, I'm sorry, I'm not talking and I have you here. We don't want to be here, you don't have to. You know? But yeah. What are we talking about? Give me a second. So much time has passed. So I don't even know where I was at all. I even think I have wrote it down, but no, we are going to, I don't even know. We're gonna continue though. We're gonna keep talking about this, right? Just from a different part. Thank you so much for tapping in, tuning in with me, and putting up with my own antics of delivery and stuff like that. So, it's cracking ourselves open into this deep mystery and not being so afraid of it either, and meeting the part of afraid. Like that's part of the development of us. Like even in our own experiences, like we're experiencing that which we are energizing, frequencing, vibrating. Someone can say, oh, how does someone call in something horrific like abuse or rape or something like that? Their environment, their conditioning. If you have a pedophile or you have somebody that with those intentions of doing that, it doesn't matter who's around. The person is in the environment, right? So we can personalize every single kind of experience and become its victim, right? And that's not said with insensitivity. That's saying it's a choice. You can do that too if you want, right? But I feel like this is a great opportunity, especially in intimacy and in partnerships, for those that are putting in the work and the effort to heal the aspects of themselves that are crying or hurt or needing to be addressed or validated or seen. It's getting to like your truth and learning to comfortably roll with uncertainty, trusting in the universe without self-sabotage and malice and just PTSD playing itself out, right? Because even with every solar eclipse that we know of, right, unforeseeable shifts occur, period, right? And so this is going to affect people in different departments, right? So it feels intense, it is chaotic, it's fated, right? Because what does fated mean here in this department? It doesn't mean, oh my God, that's your sealed fate. Fated means kind of like, for me, when I say, it's kind of like you going to school and you going into class and another student being there and they're in a bad mood, right? That is a fated circumstance. You're going to school, you're meeting this kid that's there with a bad mood, right? I don't know where we're going with this comment with this thing, but I'm just saying, like, when you get there, right? That was beyond your control, this kid and their bad mood. So it's like fated, right? You were going to school anyways. You're going to see this kid anyways. They're in a bad mood. That's just fated. Because that's the position that they're in. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just fated. It's something that is expected too. So when you have astrological planets and stuff affecting or influencing the environment, it's fated because you can't do shit about that. Right? So it's the same thing like with the manipulation of people and doing witchcraft and all these kind of things. You got to understand it from a whole other kind of psychological kind of effect of what is really happening when you detect or go through some kind of effect. You know what I mean? But yeah, we're not gonna talk about all that now. But anyways, so this is also, the sun and the moon is infusing with Venus, which forms a conjunction, right? And Venus is all about values in one's relationship, right? So, and the luxuries of life as well, right? So it's imperative that one cleans up their act, cleans up their system, cleans up their thoughts, cleans up their feelings, right? Because you're unearthing different aspects and dimensions of life that are you that might be new discovery too, right? So that's where I was getting at, like with all the things that I like to do and the stuff that I have seen in my own whole entire 40 plus years of life, right? My hobbies, although they can be predicted, not even really, but like you can guess different kind of hobbies that I would get into and stuff like that based off of you observing me from as a child till now. I'm like, oh yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, now that I know you from a child into adult, I can see why you would play the piano. I can see why you would like the drums. I can see why you write poetry. I can see why you do this. Like, you know, all this kind of stuff. I see that. I see it. Like you can see it, right? You can see it and it becomes almost like predictable when you see it. I don't like those kind of words. That's why I take a pause for a second. I know that it's just me explaining and stuff like that, but still I'm being mindful of the words, the verbiage. hold on. Let me hurry up. Some more time has passed and now it's even later and I just need to speak. Do you hear that? Is that a plane? Anyways. Right. The things that are like unearthing right now for you, right? Is gonna come from the values. The values. That's the department that is being hit here, right? Whether it's positively, negatively, catalyst, whatever, it's all for positive movement forward, transformation, and change, right? Especially in how one perceives the way that they are able to choose and trust in the process, right? So like the job that you have now is to understand your transform, right? Your personal value system and what that means to you in intimate relationships too. And then making the mindset appropriate shifts that happen intellectually, right? That help you to like positively turn over a new leaf. But anyways, let's stop. Because I come back and I said this is gonna be chill, and now I'm starting to get sleepy. I did take another sip of wine because I'm just like, dude, you have to go to sleep. But so anyways, but did I speak about procrastination and all that kind of stuff about seeing it differently and shifting it right to one of opportunity, extreme opportunity for you, right? So we're looking at like if I didn't speak about it early on, I apologize that I'm coming in like midway and like acting like I spoke about it from before. Like so much has like transpired from all the pauses. I don't know what dimension I'm in right now. Okay, so right, so like leading up until this video, right? I took a long time, and it always brings me back to when I first started recording, and it would take a long time to record, and it was because I didn't want to record, and I wasn't comfortable behind the camera, and it's just awkward and weird, and being so conscious to the attention, even when it was just pre-record, like, and just me by myself. So it would cause delay in my hitting record and stuff like that. So today was no different. Like there was delay in my hitting record. And so in that, like, I did a whole bunch of other things. I did a whole bunch of stuff. So I was very productive and all that kind of stuff, but I just didn't record, right? But it got me to thinking, right? To see it from a different perspective, because many people stay stuck in their procrastination because they're looking at it like deadly and like toxically, and oh my gosh, I need to stop not doing that. I need to stop doing this, which is doing nothing. And my procrastination, and that's why certain kind of things. But then that also gets brushed under the carpet because nobody's really calling themselves out for it, even though they might absent-mindedly think about it. Nobody has addressed it, right? So let's help shift that perspective, right? You're not procrastinating. What you're being gifted at that moment is the opportunity to get better acquainted with your truth, your script, and what you're about to do. And so the only thing that has been off for you is your perception of that moment, right? That is like, okay, what goes on next from here, right? So anyways, hold on, because now I need to do this. I remember something that I was talking about before, which was the frustrations of forgetting that what you say in the short-term memory loss and all this kind of stuff, and the lacking of discipline or the action to take to create the mental traction that is needed for you to recall that which you were about to do successfully too. But either way, I just find it so interesting, the leveling of comfort that I have now, that I can be so like, I'm tired, I'm just so exhausted, so I just keep like losing my space, and then I keep having to pause and stuff like that. But I felt like I was called to like record, and or is that me, like, either way, just gonna get this out of the way. And I'm gonna finish my recording and then I'll upload and however it be. But there's just so many things going on, like in between, you know, me, like I'll be uploading and stuff like that. If you want to be so kind, if you actually listen to, right? You can let me know what I'm missing and what I left out and what I haven't said and what I left you hanging on and where you're like, wait a minute, you didn't even finish telling me that. But yeah, you can let me know because I'm so tired. And I've been doing a lot of crying these last couple of days and stuff like that. You know, still the mourning of my dog and stuff like that, and you know, my grandpa and just certain kind of things. But yeah, so I'm tired. My eyes are a little bit heavier. I'm gonna fall asleep fast. Okay, so but yeah, so instead of thinking, oh my gosh, my procrastination is causing my stagnation and me not getting stuff done is the problem here. Granted, that is a problem here, but if you look at procrastination from a different light, right, and look at it like, hey, this is an opportunity that I get to stand still in this moment and really reflect upon that which I desire to create with solution. And so I'm being given all this moment of space to really articulate to myself and get myself into my truth stance, and my power stance, and my deliberate stance, right? Because when you know, you grow, right? Or you have the opportunity to grow if you choose that, right? So you obviously have the desire to acquire something because you wouldn't be here at all if that wasn't true, right? So, right, so be excited to remember and to recall and to be a part of your present day call, even if for a moment like you're not doing what you think you should be doing, use it as an opportunity to be like, okay, well, how and what should I be doing, right? And whatever. But the other important message before all even that, because now I'm remembering, because now I'm starting to wrap it up. I'm sorry if this one doesn't make sense. I'll play it back and listen and see, because I'm just so tired. I tell you, wine makes me sleepy when I'm home. So it's like, I'm gonna go sleep. Maybe night. I already forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, what was I gonna say? I don't even know. I'm so tired, guys. Now it's 3 I'm gonna regroup. There'll be a part 2 because I need to go to sleep. I'm tired. I'm done. We're done here. I'm sorry. Okay. Goodbye. We're done.